on the tour guide.
No, no.
These are real Vikings. They with you?
I think pwede rin itong portrait eh. Pag sa labas pwede portrait eh.
To begin. Yeah, and then I can just start. Where are you from? Beginning of the Viking Age, most of the flat parts of Europe are covered in forest. So if you imagine a farmer in France, for instance, who has 3 sons, his oldest son will inherit his farm, and the other 2 will just pick up axes and walk into this big forest and make themselves new farms. Years ago, these are the best seagoing vessels in the world. They are fast and extremely seaworthy. This one is just a little one, so it's a Viking boat, not a Viking ship. To be a small Viking ship, it would have to be at least a little bit longer and have a mast. But it's built in the same way as the ships. This building technique, with planks overlapping like this, is called clinker built. And in between here, you have a layer of wool covered with tar to make it waterproof, and then it's closed up with these iron nails. If it was entirely properly made, then these planks should be made from split wood, not sawn wood.
Viking technology.
According to their mythology, the god Heimdall is the father of all three process, but with different women. Jarls are the leaders. They live in houses like this, and they are noticeably richer and more powerful than everybody else. Then you have the carls. Carls are ordinary people, mostly farmers who own their own land, but also merchants and craftsmen like blacksmiths, jewelers, charcoal burners, and so on. So they might be very rich or very poor.
Remember to tag us. Remember to tag us.
Yeah.
To be a little bit chilly in the winters. So proper clothes is something you just have to have. The Vikings used mostly wool for warmth and linen for comfort, but their techniques were completely different than they are today. Knitting with 2 knitting pins doesn't come to Scandinavia until the late extended spiral of knitting. So making something little by it takes longer than knitting it, and it also uses up more thread, but you also get a better product. Holding it won't start to unravel like it did at the
Hi.
meant for a society where blood feuds and vendettas can very easily start. And most like at rolling, they're almost impossible to stop and going forever. So what the thing would usually do, if somebody has been murdered, is to sit down and calculate the value of the victim in silver. Operative force to go through a chainmail. It has a very good reach, and it's blindingly fast. So even a completely untrained 12 or 13-year-old with a spear is something you should be a little bit concerned about on the battlefield. Ridiculously big head. And that really wouldn't work well for a weapon. It would be way too top-heavy and slow. Obviously, it would cause a lot of damage if you actually hit somebody with an axe like that. But it would be so slow that that would be unlikely. And if you miss, somebody with a lighter axe will kill you 6 or 7 times before you manage to get that heavy monstrosity back up again. So as a general rule, weapons are light. When an archaeologist finds an axe head, if it's a little and light, it's probably a weapon. And if it's big and heavy, it's probably a tool. Because when you're working with wood, you want the weight of the axe head to do some of the work for you. But when you are fighting, speed and precision is much more important. So the main disadvantage with the axe as a weapon is the point of balance. The point of balance on this axe is here. It's quite far away from my hand, back here when I'm wielding it. And this makes it kind of drag on the arm. So whenever I start an attack with the axe really wants to continue in that direction. And for me to stop it or change direction, I have to use a whole lot of force back here. So for the people who could afford it, the sword was a very good alternative. Here the point of balance is a lot closer to your hand, so it's a lot more responsive and a lot faster to wield. But these would also be extremely expensive compared to the axes. Not only does it take a whole lot more steel to make a sword than it does to make an axe, but you also need the specialist skills of the swordsmiths. And in the Viking Age, ordinary people consider the swordsmiths to be almost like magicians because of this. The sword is flexible and it pretty much has to be. If it wasn't flexible, it would break in combat. But it's designed so that instead of breaking, it just vibrates like this and hits something hard with a great speed. And as you probably noticed, both on the spear and the axe and on this sword, our weapons there are not short. While in the Viking Age they would be pretty close to razor sharp. The reason we have these blunt edges on all of our weapons is that we occasionally use them for show fights, and we just don't have enough volunteers to use sharp ones. Another little detail I can show. Experience is basically plundering and fighting. And then he tries to become king of Norway and something that
Okay.
Sa kanya. Yeah.
How do you do like this to me?
Not like that. Yeah. Like that.
These are the famous gods in the Viking era. This one is Thor with his hammer, Odin, and Njord, Freya, the goddess of fertility, and Frey, his brother, goddess of fertility also. Sapa! Magaling! Patay si EJ nito.